First, the use of pirated content to train generative AI models will harm sales for creators. Allowing generative AI companies to train their models with pirated content is likely to harm markets for creators by damaging the original markets for their work, by damaging licensing markets for those works, and by creating perverse incentives for bad actors to add new copyrighted content to pirate networks, in essence, allowing generative AI companies to launder licensable content through piracy. Second, the use of pirated content to train generative AI models will harm society by reducing economic incentives for creators. This conclusion is similar to the early piracy research. Economic incentives drive creative output. But there's a new and unique indignity to our current situation. When piracy is used to train generative AI models, we're not only stealing from creators, we're then using the theft of their content to create tools that can flood the market with machine-generated output, which in turn will replace many of those creators, particularly emerging artists. And third, as in the early days of piracy, I believe that enforcing copyright law in the context of generative AI training can be effective at reversing these harms, and can create a world where both the creative industries and the technology industries are able to thrive. If the Napster and Grokster decisions had gone the other way in the early 2000s, it's hard to imagine that Spotify and Netflix would exist today, and that would be to the detriment of consumers, the creative community, and the technology community. I think today we have a similar opportunity to create a win-win-win for society, creators, and tech firms by making it clear that piracy is wrong and that a vibrant technology economy depends on a vibrant creative economy. We found a way to make licensed streaming and sales channels work for consumers, copyright owners, and platforms in the early 2000s. We must do the same for generative AI today. Generative AI has the potential to benefit industry and society in many ways, but achieving that potential will require a more robust and transparent partnership between technology firms and the creative industries. On our current path, we risk killing the goose, or in this case, the authors, musicians, coders, and filmmakers who laid the golden eggs that are key to the present and future value of generative AI output. I thank you and look forward to your questions.
Thank you very much. Next up is Professor Bhamati Viswanathan. Did I get that right, Professor? Am I
Perfect.
close? Okay.
Perfect.
Professor Viswanathan is a professor of law at New England Law School, and she's an expert in AI and copyright. Thank you for being here. The floor is yours, Professor.
Chairman Hawley, Senior Ranking Member Durbin, and members of this subcommittee, thank you so much. I'm honored to testify today on a subject that I feel passionate about. I feel that Senator Hawley did an excellent job of laying the table for us. I'd like to drill down on what he's presented us with so far and help us walk through this. So first, it's an interesting moment that we're at. Generative AI is a promising set of technologies, and I think we can all agree that they're beneficial. However, the training that they're engaging in is deeply problematic and troubling, and courts don't know what to do about this yet. They haven't reached a consensus on what should obviously be done about the training of AI on pirated works. So I'd like to give us a call for action and a solution as I talk us through this. First, we know that what pirate websites are doing is illegal. How do we know that? Multiple actions have been brought against pirate sites, and in every case, the pirate websites or repositories have lost. The FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, have gone after pirate websites and tried to shut them down. Now, of course, we all know this can be like whack-a-mole, right? What they shut down, they come back up again. But the point is, it's well established that what they're doing is illegal. And that makes sense. If you and I stole books from the library or from a bookstore and said, I need to train, I need to learn, I need to develop my mind, we wouldn't argue that this is fair use. We'd say, you can't steal the materials even for a good cause. That's not even what's happening here.